12 life-changing lessons from Stoicism that will transform how you see the world. Some philosophies are content to sit on library shelves, admired but rarely lived. Stoicism is different. It was built for action, not theory. It's not about debating abstract ideas but about answering the most pressing question we all face: how do I live well, even when life is difficult? That's why Stoicism has survived for more than 2,000 years. From soldiers in battlefields to emperors in palaces, from people enduring personal tragedies to those navigating the daily stress of modern work, this philosophy has given strength, clarity, and calm. The remarkable thing about Stoicism is how practical it is. While other traditions might demand you retreat from the world, the Stoics insisted on meeting life head-on. They didn't promise that pain, setbacks, or frustrations would disappear. Instead, they taught that by mastering your perspective, you could meet every challenge with unshakable strength. It's not about changing the world outside you, it's about transforming the world inside you. What makes Stoicism especially relevant today is how noisy, unpredictable, and overwhelming modern life has become. News cycles, social media, endless demands. It's easy to feel pulled in 1,000 directions at once. The Stoics faced different circumstances, but the human struggles were the same: fear, anger, desire, loss. Their answers can still anchor us in the storm. So, what exactly are these timeless lessons? In this journey, we'll explore 12 powerful Stoic teachings that will challenge how you see setbacks, how you respond to stress, and how you measure success. Each lesson is not just a quote to admire but a practice to live. And if you take them seriously, they can shift the entire trajectory of your life. Are you ready? Let's dive into Lesson 1. Lesson 1: Control what you can, accept what you can't. Think about the last time you lost sleep worrying about something outside your control. Maybe it was whether someone liked you. Maybe it was the outcome of a meeting. Maybe it was even bigger global events, politics, or the economy. Stoicism begins with a life-altering realization: much of what you worry about is not within your power. What is within your power? Your choices, your judgments, your actions. Everything else, the weather, other people's opinions, chance events, belongs to the domain of fate. Epictetus said it clearly: some things are up to us, and some are not. This isn't an excuse to be passive. It's an invitation to focus your energy where it actually matters. Instead of screaming at the wind, you adjust your sails. Imagine how much mental space you'd free up if you stopped arguing with reality and concentrated only on what you can touch. The Stoics understood that control is the foundation of peace. Now bring this closer to home. The next time you feel anxious, ask yourself: is this in my control? If the answer is no, release it. If yes, take action. For example, you can't control the economy, but you can control how you budget. You can't control if someone criticizes you, but you can control how you respond. This mental filter is like a sword cutting through the fog of worry. Life becomes clearer when you stop wrestling with the uncontrollable. It's not about giving up, it's about giving your full effort where it counts most. Lesson 2: Your mind is your kingdom. The world can strip you of possessions, status, even health. But according to Marcus Aurelius, it cannot touch your inner fortress, your mind, unless you open the gates. You have power over your mind, not outside events, he wrote. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your mind is the one territory where you are sovereign. Guard it well. Think of your mind as a castle. Every thought is either a guest you welcome or an intruder you allow to slip past the guards. Negative self-talk, resentment, envy, those are thieves, and they'll plunder your peace if you don't patrol the walls. But gratitude, discipline, and reason are loyal allies, strengthening your defenses. The Stoics knew that happiness is not about what happens to you, but about how you interpret what happens. Try this reflection: when something ruins your day, is it the event itself or the story you told yourself about it? Maybe traffic made you late, but was it the cars that caused the stress, or your thought, "This is unbearable"? Once you realize interpretation is optional, you reclaim incredible power. In practice, this might mean pausing before spiraling into negativity, asking yourself, "What's another way to see this?" Your mind becomes a training ground, and every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen it. Over time, this fortress becomes unshakable. Lesson 3: The obstacle is the way. At first glance, obstacles feel like enemies. They block your path, waste your time, and crush your plans. But to the Stoics, obstacles weren't barriers, they were teachers. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. The very thing that frustrates you may contain the seed of growth. History is full of examples. When Thomas Edison's lab burned down, he didn't despair. He started over, seeing the disaster as a chance to rebuild stronger. When Viktor Frankl was imprisoned in a concentration camp, he found meaning in suffering, shaping the philosophy that would inspire millions. These aren't just extraordinary cases, they reflect the Stoic truth that setbacks can be springboards. In your own life, think about rejection. A job you didn't get, a relationship that ended, a plan that collapsed. At the time, it hurt. But did it push you towards something better? The obstacle became the path. The next time you hit a wall, try this mindset shift. Don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "How can this serve me?" Suddenly, the wall becomes a doorway. Instead of resentment, you feel possibility. And that's the Stoic alchemy, turning obstacles into opportunities. Lesson 4: Amor fati, love your fate. Most of us try to resist fate. We complain about what life hands us, wishing circumstances were different. But the Stoics went further than acceptance. They practiced amor fati, love of fate. This means not only enduring what happens, but embracing it as necessary, even beautiful. Marcus Aurelius advised himself daily, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." Imagine living like that, where every twist of fate, even the painful ones, fuels your strength. Think of times when what seemed like misfortune later became a blessing. Perhaps losing a job pushed you into a career you love. Maybe heartbreak opened space for a deeper relationship. Amor fati invites you to stop labeling events as good or bad in the moment and instead see them as part of a larger design. The practice is simple but profound. When something unwanted happens, whisper to yourself, "I will love this too." At first, it feels forced. But over time, it rewires your relationship to reality. Life stops being an opponent. It becomes a partner. Lesson 5: Memento mori, remember you will die. If there's one practice that shocks us into clarity, it's memento mori, the reminder of death. The Stoics meditated on mortality not to be morbid, but to awaken. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote in his journal, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." When you live with the awareness that time is finite, suddenly the trivial irritations lose their power, and what really matters comes into focus. Think about it: how often do we act as if we're guaranteed decades ahead? We postpone love, forgiveness, dreams, waiting for the right time. Memento mori cuts through this illusion. It whispers, "The right time is now." Picture holding a grudge but then remembering you or the other person might not be here tomorrow. Is anger worth it? Or imagine putting off a passion project, telling yourself you'll start next year. What if next year never comes? This isn't about despair. It's about urgency. Death makes life precious, and remembering it pushes you to live fully, without delay. Lesson 6: Virtue is the highest good. What makes a life truly good? Wealth, status, pleasure. The Stoics rejected all these as ultimate goals. They taught that only one thing is genuinely good in itself: virtue living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Everything else is secondary, preferred or preferred but not the essence of a good life. This was their radical clarity. You could be poor, sick, or even exiled and still live nobly, if you held on to virtue. Consider Socrates, who faced death calmly rather than abandon his principles. Or Marcus Aurelius, who led the Roman Empire yet reminded himself that power and luxury meant nothing if he failed to act justly. The Stoics give us a compass. Whenever you face a choice, ask not what's easiest, or what's most profitable, but what's the virtuous path. In practice, this might mean telling the truth even when lying would save face, or treating a rival with fairness instead of envy. Virtue doesn't always bring applause, but it brings peace, the kind that can't be taken away. Lesson 7, Desire less, live more. We live in a culture that constantly whispers, more. More money, more possessions, more recognition. Yet the Stoics warn that chasing endless desire is a trap. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." The moment you attach happiness to acquiring, you place it forever out of reach because there will always be something new to want. True wealth, the Stoics taught, lies in being content with little. Try reflecting on this. How many things you once craved have already lost their shine? The new phone, the promotion, the car, they thrilled you for a moment, then faded into normalcy. Desire is a treadmill. Stoicism offers an exit. Shift from craving to gratitude. Count what you have instead of what's missing. Instead of asking, what else do I need to be happy, ask, what can I appreciate right now? When you desire less, you don't shrink your life, you expand it. Because suddenly, joy is available here, in this moment, without waiting for the next purchase or the next applause. Lesson 8, Pain is a teacher, not an enemy. Pain is often seen as life's enemy, something to avoid at all costs. But the Stoics argued that pain, while unpleasant, can be a powerful teacher. Epictetus, who was born a slave and suffered a permanently crippled leg, famously said, "Difficulties show what men are." Pain tests us, revealing our resilience and shaping our character. Without discomfort, we remain soft. With it, we gain strength. Think of physical exercise. Muscles only grow by enduring strain. In the same way, the soul grows by facing hardship. A heartbreak can teach compassion. A failure can teach humility. Even illness can teach patience. This doesn't mean you should seek suffering for its own sake, but when it arrives, you can ask, what can this teach me? Next time you're in discomfort, whether emotional or physical, notice the instinct to resist. Instead, lean in and treat the pain as a lesson. You may discover reserves of courage you never knew you had. Lesson 9, Choose reason over impulse. We are often tempted to react without thinking, snapping in anger, indulging in temptation, panicking in fear. The Stoics believed this was a waste of our greatest gift, reason. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, if it is not right, do not do it, if it is not true, do not say it. The space between stimulus and response is where our freedom lies. Every time you pause and choose reason over impulse, you step closer to mastery. Consider a moment of anger. Someone insults you. The impulse is to lash out. But if you pause, you realize their words don't define you. Your calm response maintains dignity while their anger consumes only them. Or think of temptation, the impulse to overindulge in food, shopping, or distraction. If you pause, reason reminds you of long-term goals. This practice is simple but not easy. Stop, breathe, reflect before acting. Over time, these pauses add up. You stop being a prisoner to moods and urges, and you become the author of your actions. That is true freedom. Lesson 10, See hardship as training. When life feels unfair, most people ask, why me? The Stoics flipped this question around. Marcus Aurelius believed every difficulty was a chance to train the soul. Just like athletes don't resent the weight on the barbell, Stoics didn't resent obstacles. They knew each one was shaping them for greater strength. Imagine life as a gym. Every setback is a piece of equipment heavy, yes, but designed to build endurance and power. Without resistance, you never grow. Think back on the hardest moments in your life. Chances are, they also became turning points. Losing a job might have taught you resourcefulness. Facing rejection might have deepened your empathy. Illness might have sharpened your gratitude. If you reframe hardship as training, pain becomes purposeful. The next time something doesn't go your way, try asking, what skill is this moment teaching me? Patience. Courage. Resilience. Suddenly, what felt like punishment becomes practice, and practice makes you stronger. Lesson 11, value progress over perfection. Perfection is a mirage. Chase it, and you'll always feel behind. The Stoics didn't expect flawless virtue, they expected effort. Seneca admitted that he still stumbled daily, but he measured success by whether he was improving, however slowly. This mindset transforms guilt into growth. Instead of being crushed by mistakes, you treat them as feedback. Every day becomes a new chance to practice wisdom, courage, and self-control. Think about a musician learning a new instrument. No one expects perfect performance on day one. Why should life be different? If you aim for small, steady progress, you avoid burnout and disappointment. Ask yourself each night, was I a little wiser, a little calmer, a little more disciplined today than yesterday? That's enough. Over months and years, those small improvements compound into profound change. The Stoics didn't demand perfection, they pursued excellence through persistence. You don't need to be flawless, you need to be moving forward. Lesson 12, live for the common good. Stoicism isn't just about personal peace. It's about service. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What's not good for the hive is not good for the bee." In other words, your well-being is tied to the well-being of the community. A virtuous life means contributing, not withdrawing. The Stoics believed humans are like limbs of one body, if one part suffers, the whole suffers. To live wisely is to live for more than yourself. In practice, this can be simple. Help a neighbor. Mentor someone younger. Do your work with integrity, not just for profit but for the benefit of others. Even small acts ripple outward. You can ask, does this action add to the world's harmony or its chaos? Living for the common good doesn't mean neglecting yourself. It means recognizing that your highest fulfillment comes when your life uplifts others. In giving, you strengthen both the hive and the bee. Conclusion, living the Stoic way. Life is unpredictable. Storms will come of loss, pain, failure, and change. You can't control the winds, but you can control the sails. This is the heart of Stoicism, to meet each moment with clarity, strength, and virtue. The 12 lessons we've explored are not abstract philosophy. They're practical tools, a compass for navigating the chaos of everyday life. Think of how different your days could feel if you truly practiced them. If you controlled only what was yours and released the rest. If you accepted fate, loved reality as it is, and used every obstacle as fuel. If you valued progress, not perfection, and lived not just for yourself but for the whole. Imagine the calm, the freedom, the courage that would radiate from you. That's the Stoic promise, not a life without storms, but a life unshaken by them. Now the question is yours, will these lessons remain words on a page, or will they become habits in your life? The Stoics remind us that philosophy is meant to be lived, not just read. Each day offers you a choice to react with impulse or to respond with wisdom. To complain about the obstacle or to use it as training. To chase endless desires or to find contentment in what you already have. Choose the Stoic path, and you'll discover a kind of power that no external event can ever take away. The power to live freely, bravely, and in harmony with the world.